All right, another video. Last one I talked about forced scarcity. I've mentioned forced scarcity a couple of times now. Maybe you've looked it up, maybe you haven't. If you listen to the money guys, they got a podcast. They also go on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, just give them a look. It's called the Money Guys. They use this term. It's where I picked it up at. Now, I was doing it way before they started doing it. I got to pause this for just 1 second. Okay, I had to pause for a second. I forgot one of my props. I've got props. So, before I started, I keep forgetting to ask this. I'm going to make a bunch of these videos. This is an outlet for me, kind of therapy. I'm a truck driver. Like every truck driver in the world, I talk to myself. And sometimes I have interesting things to say. It's just the person listening to it's the same person talking about it. So it I get tired of hearing myself talk. And my wife most certainly gets tired of hearing me talk. And I've got ideas. I'm an idea man. Unfortunately, she's heard them all and she don't want to hear them anymore. Some are decent ideas. So I started putting them on Facebook. And I've actually got a lot of people that listen to what I say on Facebook. And I'd forgotten that I always made these videos of just doing dumb stuff, goofing around, going to events, playing with fish, building my house, building my barn-dominium, building this pole barn, just doing odd things. So I thought, well, why don't I combine the two? Why don't I make videos instead of talking about finances or whatever on Facebook? Why don't I actually talk about it? I don't know. It's fun. It's kind of an outlet. It's kind of therapy for me. And I've learned a lot. I'm 53 years old. I'm a truck driver, a dumb truck driver. All I do is hold the steering wheel. I'm loosened up behind the wheel. Middle class and living a pretty damn good life because I've implemented some things like forced scarcity. Forced scarcity is living on far less than you make. What's that mean? Have you ever seen the reel of Shaquille O'Neal holding up the $1 bill? That's not Shaquille O'Neal, that's General Washington, kids. Shaquille O'Neal's not quite as handsome as that dude right there. He's close, not quite as good. He says when he first got into the NBA and got his money, he was really bad with money. So he had one of the team owners one time was talking to him and they said, what's your goal? And he said, I want to get rich. He goes, well, you want to be rich or you want to be wealthy? He goes, well, what's the difference? He goes, he held up $1, maybe it was $100. He goes, if you do this with every dollar, save that much, live on that much, save the rest, you'll become rich. If you do it again and live on that much, save the rest, you'll become wealthy. The difference between rich and wealthy, I heard this a while back, I thought it was really good. The difference between rich and wealthy, rich people have enough, I just forgot the word, enough income without going to work. Residual, that's what I was trying to say. They have enough residual income that they want for nothing. All their bills are paid. They don't have to go to work. That's what retirement means for a lot of people. Just pays their bills. That's considered rich. You don't have to worry. You can answer the phone. You can go check the mailbox. There's never going to be a notice in there. All your bills are going to be paid. You're never going to have to worry about it. That's what rich feels like. Wealthy is the same feeling, but now you never have to wonder what you can spend money on. Wealthy means you could do anything you want and never have to worry about if you got enough money to afford it. Now, if you're Elon Musk, that's going to look different than a dumb trucker. A dumb trucker is going to go, you know what, I think I'll own a new truck. And I can go out and buy a new truck, pay cash for it. Of course, I wouldn't buy new, I'd buy used because I've been living on forced scarcity. And I've gotten so used to it that I've gotten good at it. My wife and I make a game out of it. Quick backstory. I've said enough times, I used to have all these payments, used to be in debt, found Dave Ramsey, and started getting my butt out of debt. And at that time, he had a phrase he used that went, live on beans and rice, rice and beans. Now, I'm not much on rice and beans, so I took that to mean live on as minimal as possible. And because I'm a very competitive person, I decided to take that to an extreme, and that's when forced scarcity came into my life. Now, I didn't call it that back then. I didn't call it that until I heard the money guys talking about it, and I was like, son of a gun, they're describing exactly what I did for the last 20 years. Live on forced scarcity. Forced scarcity means that you know you're spending less, but then you're forcing yourself to spend lesser. Scarcity is like pliers. You squeeze down on them, and the grip you put in right here multiplies at the jaws. Forced scarcity is vice grips, because the amount you put on them here is 4 times as much as on the jaws. That's forced scarcity. It's a rapid multiplier, a multiple multiplier. So the first game I played was, I decided I wasn't going to spend money anymore. I decided instead of getting my check, putting the money in my pocket, asking my wife what the bills were that week and giving her some money, I decided, you know what? That's not how you'd run a business. And if I'm going to run the business of Joe, run the business of the dumb trucker who's going to try to get his ass and his family out of debt, a family of 6 living on a $10 an hour job, I better get serious. I better run this like I was going to run a business. Get this business out of debt, get this business back in the black. So I decided I'm going to give myself a $20 a week allowance. That's for 7 days. Well, I did the first week, and man, I struggled. I ended up breaking it. I had to get a little bit of money back. I think I spent $30 that first week. Second week, I got it under 20. A couple of months in, I realized that if I got fuel at the exact same fuel stops, brands, Love's, Flying J, Pilot, whatever they are, if you get the fuel at the same ones each time, you can get a frequent flyer type card. It's basically you get a card that you get rewards. So much per gallon of fuel. You get rewards on this card. It's to get you to be a loyal customer, right? And of course, these places, these truck stops are full of stuff. And there's food, there's clothes. Sorry, I keep shaking the table there. You can basically live out of one. You get a gallon of milk, dozen eggs, whatever it is. Now everything's marked way the hell up. But it's free money. You didn't earn it. So I figured out real quick that if you keep getting fuel at these same places, you hit a certain level, then your points double. And you hit a certain level, and they double again. Well, I got up to where I was getting 5-6 cents a gallon every time I got fuel. And in a truck, you might go through 100 gallons a day. And so I was earning sometimes $4 to $6 a day. And if you go in there and get those roller hot dogs off the rack, you can eat lunch there every day for free. And they have free drink refills. So those little cards usually will say you get to so many points, you get free drink refills. And so I go in there and I refill my coffee, I refill my soda, and it's limitless. I still have it today. I just use Love's now today because Love's has more stuff to choose from. Point being, I got to where I wasn't spending any of that $20. That $20 was going back towards the family. So, end of the week, I was forcing myself also to take as much overtime as possible. The first month that I was at this job, I took this $10 an hour job. First month that I was there, I had 2 weeks in a row where I compiled over 80 hours. Well, that's illegal as a truck driver. I didn't know at that time. You got to stop at 70. And my boss pulled me aside and said, "Hey, you can't do that anymore. That's too many hours. You got to stop by 70." So what I was doing, I was getting done. And then whoever had the last load of the day, I'd say, "Hey, you want to go home?" They'd, "Hell yeah, I want to go home." They don't want to stick around. There's 4 drivers there, and none of them like to work. I was the only one that wanted to work. And I said, "Hey, you want to go home? I'll take your load. Just just grab your lunchbox, and I'll even use your truck. I'll put your name on the thing so you get credit for it. I just want the hours. And I'd work till 8 o'clock at night every night. I was working 14, 15 hours a day, and then volunteering for Saturdays. And on $10 an hour, overtime being 15, that first year I made $46,000 at that place. You add all that up, that's a hell of a lot of overtime. Because $10 an hour is $400 a week. That's $20,000 a year. I doubled it. So basically, I made 2 jobs worth on overtime. Point being, I was forcing myself. I didn't know this word, scarcity. I didn't understand the forced scarcity. I was just forcing myself to do something uncomfortable so that I could get ahead, because I understood how it worked. Because the first time we did that 75%, it wasn't going into savings. It was going towards our bills. Once we started doing that, and I talked to my wife about this, and she was able to do it. She did garage sales, shopped at garage sales, did garage sales, looked for deals on stuff. We really buckled down, and within about 3 years, we had every one of our debts paid off. And after that, realized, hey, now let's take that 75% and start putting it towards our future. And that's where we were able to buy this place and start to fix things up, and building the barn dominium out there. Got a little nicer vehicles. Got the Harley, got the boat, got the Jeep, got the toys, the guns, whatever it is. You want to live a better life, spend less. That's just bottom line. I don't know how to make it any simpler. If you don't have bills, you have money. If you don't have bills, you have money. You get $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000 every month that you're spending on bills, and 7, 8, 10% of it's in interest. You get to put that right in your pocket, or you get to put it right in your savings. You get to put 25% in your 401k, or you get to put $15,000 a year away in IRAs. I'll go over that on another video. Maybe how to get rich in the middle class, because you can. There's a formula to do it. You just got to start today.